Right guys, quick matchup time here. Ping G30 hitting up against the Callaway Big Bertha Alpha 815. Let's talk a little bit about what these clubs feel, look like, what the manufacturers say they offer, and then we've got some Titleist Pro V1X balls and my GC2, which will deliver some real ball data to show you the different spins and ideas of what these clubs might do for you, and probably show you that they go almost the same distance like nearly every club that's been released at the moment. You shouldn't really be looking at these clubs just as distance gains, guys. You should be looking maybe for some other things. Dispersions left and right, short and long, maybe which one's feeling better for you, for which reasons. It might not always be that you're just maxing out distance. It might be that you'd like to feel and look at this one over this one. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's get stuck in. Right guys, Ping G30 hitting up against the Big Bertha Alpha 815. Gravity core, lots of visual tech on Big Bertha Alpha. Gravity core allows you to move CGs higher and lower to try and dialing spin. Weights on the outside, which one lighter, one heavier, to maybe try and control some release patterns with the face. And you've got the changeable neck, allows you to change the loss and the lies a little bit to try and again dial in that kind of dialing that ball flight you might want. You've got arm moto on the technology in this one as well, where Callaway are producing maybe their most explosive or favourite. There's certainly a face that they're very proud of at the moment with this arm moto. That's something they're kind of really calling out about being a great technology, so we'll look at that. Ping has a few frills on it. It's got the turbulators on top, meant to increase club head speed. I've not really seen that, to be honest, in much of the testing I've done. I do love the way they look, which we'll talk about in a second. Changeable neck as well, but to a finer degree. The Callaway has more options in the changeable neck. And this one's kind of all built for aerodynamics. Both from 460 heads, putting them down by the ball. The Ping looks flattened, stretched back more than the 815 Big Bertha Alpha. So out of the two, some people might feel like the head is bigger in the Ping, which could only offer maybe a bit more confidence. Both of these two clubs will be claiming high MOI properties, so that's something that might help you on miss hits, guys. How much that can help you is another video. Let's try the Ping. I love the turbulation, the turbulators on top. I think they frame the ball visually just up really well. I didn't like them when I first saw them, but do love them now. Off the face, this one's going to feel nice. I could game this club, no problem. I've always liked Ping drivers in the recent years. It makes quite a loudish sound. It gives me a ball flight I want. It gives me a ball flight I feel I can control, high or low or either way. I do feel like I can do what I want with this club. Definitely down by the ball, it's one that looks definitely the most easiest nearly out of all the modern clubs, just with the way they've shaped it. It's big and it looks friendly, and you give it to people, put it in their hands, and they do say those kind of words. Let's give it another hit. Hit that really well. It makes quite a loud sound, but it's a good flight, and I can see a lot. I mean, this is played on tour and it can be played by beginner golfers as well. This is a club really that could be gained by anyone. I do love G30, so let's compare that up here to Big Bertha 815 Alpha. Again, this one looks stunning down by the ball. Little Callaway V line-up line, nice black shiny head all around. The arm moto face, Callaway are really proud of. Use these kind of lines. I think they've made the face stronger in certain places, and then they've allowed it to make it thinner in other places to maximise ball speeds and all, so on and so forth. All the companies like to talk about a face technology. Actually, when I talk to R&D, it's often the bit they're most proud of and the bit that we maybe understand, including me, the least. Let's give it a hit. Looks good down by the ball. That definitely looks friendlier than this, but again, I've been doing some studies and looking into MOI recently, and maybe we use that word too much, not really understanding the differences in high MOI and low, which is maybe a video to come. Let's give this a hit. It's a different sound. This has a forged composite head, which will often put a slightly different sound through it, so it's not as loud in its sound, in its ting. It's not quiet, but it's certainly not as loud as the Ping. Lovely ball flight. Again, with this one, I do feel I could move the ball wherever I wanted to, high or low. I do feel like I could do what I want with this club. all these modern clubs, I don't know, none of them out of the main manufacturers are making bad ones, are they really? The only people who think there's a club that is bad is maybe when they're having a bad day themselves. Well, it's a definitely different sound. I think this sound would appeal, well, I think they would appeal equally depending on what you want from a sound. This is I say a duller sound, I don't mean that in a negative way. This is maybe a less high-pitched ting, which I think for some people they'll like. Look, both of those two clubs are good. Let's look at some numbers and see if there's actually any real performance difference in those two. Lots of visible tech on Callaway, and they are making lots of noise at the minute, and I think the visible tech kind of goes along with that. Ping just kind of prod along, doing their honest, good stuff, don't they? I mean, we've done it for years and will continue forever. Same as Callaway. But let's look at the numbers to see if there'd be any reason why I should choose one or the other, or even you should, when we look at some launch details. Let's check these numbers out. Right guys, more numbers coming at you. Callaway 815 Big Bertha Alpha, Ping G30 sets of numbers here. So let's show you what we've got. We've got Callaway 815 Big Bertha Alpha first. Average carry 259, topping out with 267. Well, that's a big hit for me. And then down to, where are we down to? 252, so not a bad spread across my strikes. Spinning at 25. Bottoming down at 2.1. There was one first one actually at 2,000. Topping out at 2.7. So shot 1 and 2. Shot 1 must be high on the face and toey. Yes, it is. 10 millimeters high. Shot 2 must be lower on the face. Yeah, only 3 millimeters high, more centered, which is interesting. So that high toe wins again. High toe is always the strongest place on these golf clubs. Launching at 17 degrees, launching slightly higher than I get on other clubs. Going slightly higher at 45 yards. I'm normally maybe around 40 yards, but still getting out there at 259. Great, great numbers. If we compare that up then, so 259, if we compare that up to Ping G30, 259, spinning at 2.3. Excuse me, launching at 16 degrees, 41 peak height, so slightly lower, launching a fraction lower, and carrying exactly the same yards. If I had to choose between those two clubs, company allegiance, opinions of the company, colouring, sounds, memories of using clubs or their clubs in the past, they're performing the same. They are performing pretty much the same. Built to similar tolerances. Those clubs are doing very much the same, aren't they? I'll be very interested if anyone is getting certain numbers out of G30 and not out of 815 Big Bertha Alpha. Post comments if you are. I'd love to know why. And are you measuring strike? Are you measuring your performance in amongst that test? Because if your performance is varied, randomised, so my performance is randomised, but to smaller tolerances, so if you look on the strikes on the face there with G30, they're all collected in a very similar place. And then if we look at the strikes on the Big Bertha Alpha, again, they're all collected, so they're very consistently struck. They're not actually struck all in the exact same place of the face, but they are for both tests. You can start to see the little differences out of my shots, where if you're getting a bigger variation, it would be interesting to know what kind of differences you're getting and why. Those two clubs for me performing very much the same. Thanks for watching, guys. Post comments down below as always. Speak to you soon. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments. Love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show. Get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.